Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV in conjunction with Colfax High School presents Viking pregame. A look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. And now, Viking pregame.
Good evening and welcome to the NLWN-TV studios. I'm Rick Olson, and tonight we're getting ready to bring you Colfax High School Viking Girls Basketball. Tonight, the 6-3 Colfax Vikings, who are 3-1 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, are getting ready to step out of conference play as they travel to Chippewa Falls for a non-conference matchup against the McDonell Central Macks, who are 6-6 overall and 4-1 in the Western Clover Belt Conference. The Vikings are coming off a dominating conference victory on Thursday over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers, 70-31, in a game that the Vikings controlled from wire to wire. Meanwhile, the Macks are looking to bounce back and right the ship following their 45-31 conference loss to the Fall Creek Crickets, and that was also on Thursday. Now, coming up in this edition of Viking Pregame, we'll take a look at tonight's matchup between the Macks and the Vikings. Then we'll get Coach Serrar's perspective on tonight's game in Coach's Corner. Then we'll take a quick look around the Dun St. Croix Conference to see where things stand after the conference got back into action last Thursday. Following that, we'll send it out to McDonell Central High School in Chippewa Falls, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's non-conference game. So it's time to get ready for some exciting high school girls basketball. All that coming up right after this brief timeout as you're tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame, where we are getting ready to bring you all the action of tonight's girls non-conference basketball game between the 6-6 McDonell Central Macks, who are 4-1 in the Western Clover Belt Conference, and the 6-3 Colfax Vikings, who are 3-1 in the Dun St. Croix Conference. The Vikings are coming off an impressive 70-31 win over the Glenwood City Hilltoppers on Thursday, while the Macks dropped a 45-31 decision to the Fall Creek Crickets, also on Thursday. Now, in that victory over Glenwood City, the Vikings dominated from the beginning and pulled away to the victory, making use of their quickness and capitalizing on numerous fast break transition points. The Vikings, in the process of playing their hardcore in-your-face defense, were able to knock the ball free from the hands of the Hilltoppers and turn that into points. Now, leading the way for the Vikings in that effort was junior Jordan Bovey, who scored on 13 field goals, many of which were as a result of fast breaks, and wound up scoring a season-high 28 points.
Good. Rebound taken down by Shipman. Long lead pass to Jordan Bovey. She lays it up and puts it in. Jordan Bovey with the hot hand early in the game.
She was followed by junior Sierra Shipman, who hit on 6 field goals, 2 of which were three-pointers for 14 points.
Dell has it. Over to Shipman, puts up the three. She hit the three again.
Sierra with the hot hand right now.
Junior Bryn Sikora hit on 4 field goals, with 2 being from three-point land for 12 points.
Ball gets hauled out of there by Bovey. Over to Sikora, puts up the three. Bryn Sikora with the three, and the Vikings go on top 5-2.
Tonight, the Vikings are stepping out of conference play as they travel to Chippewa Falls to take on the McDonell Central Macks. The 6-6 Macks, until their 45-31 loss last Thursday to the Fall Creek Crickets, had been leading the Western Clover Belt Conference. Now, that loss drops them into a second-place tie with a 4-1 conference record. Now, so far this season, they are averaging just over 46 points per game while giving up over 51. Leading the way scoring for the Macks is 5'7" sophomore shooting guard Claire Ruff, who's shooting 60% from the floor and 57% from the free throw line while averaging nearly 12 points per game. She's followed by 6-foot sophomore forward Ann Siegenthaler, who's hitting on 30% of her shots, including 33% from three-point land while averaging nearly 10 points per game. 5'10" senior power forward Kendall Heffler leads the Macks in rebounding, averaging over 7 per game, followed by Ruff, who pulls down nearly 6. The Vikings so far this season are being led in scoring by junior Jordan Bovey, who's scoring nearly 17 points per game while hitting 62% from the charity stripe. She's followed by senior Kason Goodell, who's averaging over 12 points per game, while Sierra Shipman is chipping in another 10 points per game. On the boards, junior Bryn Sikora is leading the way, pulling down 6.5 rebounds per game, followed by Goodell and Shipman, who are grabbing around 6 per game each. Now, coming up next, following this timeout, we'll get the coach's perspective as we chat with Viking head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. You're tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Time now to see what the coaches have to say. It's Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. And now, Coach's Corner.
Once again, we're talking with Viking girls head coach Courtney Serrar on Coach's Corner. And Coach, in just a few minutes, the Vikings will be stepping out of Dunn St. Croix Conference play as they take on the McDonell Central Macks from Chippewa Falls. But before we get to that game, back on Thursday, the Vikings took care of business in a conference game by dominating the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 70-31. Your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I thought it was a good team win. I was really impressed with our passing. Our ability to find the open person in transition or just simply make the extra pass to the open person was impressive. After watching the film, we had lots of kids who had a ton of assists. As a group, for one of the first times this year, we had a team 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, and that's really good. So I think that was just their unselfish play was fun to see.
Now, the Vikings controlled that game from the outset, and it sure looked like they were utilizing their speed, and that helped open up that transition game. How can they put all that to work? What goes into that?
Yeah, I think, they just have good instincts. We work a lot on making good decisions in transition with the ball. You don't necessarily get something every single time, you're in transition. So we really work on playing off of 2 feet, but overall, I think that they did a good job just taking what was there and what the defense gave them.
Now, you already hinted at it, but the Vikings picked up 25 assists in that game. Talk about the significance of a strong number like that.
Yeah, the good thing was a lot of those, assists came off of, high percentage basket. The open layups, the open shots in transition, which is good. So we just have to continue to, get those high percentage shots. I think if we can look to run, when the time is right, then we will. And, overall, we've been making good choices with the basketball and really working on taking care of it and limiting our turnovers. So I hope we can just build on, the confidence I think that Thursday gave us.
Now, in that game, the Vikings had 8 girls contribute to the scoring, including 3 who scored in double figures. Your thoughts about the balance that is starting to show for the Vikings?
Yeah, I mean, we have lots of kids who can put the ball in the basket, and it seems like, There's quite a few nights where someone, out of the starters, someone different's leading us in the points category every night. So I've said this before, I'm not much, into points or anything like that. We definitely have to, put the ball in the basket, but I'm more concerned about, our assists, our turnovers, our ability to get some RBIs, and, those are the game changers. So it's good to see, that there were quite a few kids scoring and putting the ball in the basket. Sometimes you just need games like that to, like I said, develop some confidence, and see the ball go through the basket is always good.
Now, tonight it's going to be a little bit different situation as the Vikings are taking on one of the leading teams out of the West Clover Belt Conference in the McDonell Central Macks out of Chippewa Falls. What can you tell us about the challenges that the Macks present?
Yeah, they're quick, they're athletic, they play hard, they'll probably press us all game. So, just some different things there. I think, similar to us, they play a really tough schedule. So I think it'll just be a fun game, another test for us. Just hopefully keep getting better.
Now, it would appear as though stopping the Macks, Claire Ruff, would be one of the keys to stopping the Macks, as she's shooting over 60% from the floor. How do you deal with her?
Yeah, I mean, you just, again, good individual defense, good team defense. So like I said, one person can't completely take credit for, guarding somebody. So, we're going to put a couple different people on her, and again, have to have, that great gap help, because she's good with the ball. She's got great, ball handling skills, and she's got a good pull up. So our gap help has to be present today.
Well, Coach Serrar, good luck on tonight's game. Hopefully, the Vikings can keep the winning going tonight.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Coach's Corner, where they look at tonight's game from the coach's point of view. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. Remember the best planned 90 minutes of your life? Or that surprise party for your parents' golden anniversary? You get the golden planning. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back to Viking Pregame. The Dunn St. Croix Conference got back into conference play on Thursday night with a full slate of games. So as we take a look at the results from that conference play on Thursday, in addition to the Vikings defeating the Glenwood City Hilltoppers 70-31, the Durand, Arkansas Panthers posted a 75-30 win over the Spring Valley Cardinals. It was the Mondovi Buffaloes topping the Boyceville Bulldogs 56-48, and the Elk Mound Mounders kept their conference record perfect by defeating the Elmwood Plum City Wolves 69-17. So that leaves the Dunn St. Croix Conference standings as follows. In first place are the Elk Mound Mounders, who are 5-0. In second place, we find the Mondovi Buffaloes at 4-0 and just a half a game out of first. In a tie for third place are the Durand, Arkansas Panthers with the Colfax Vikings. Both teams are at 3-1 and 1.5 games out of first. At 1-3 and in fifth place are the Boyceville Bulldogs. The Spring Valley Cardinals at 1-4 are 4 games back in sixth place. The Glenwood City Hilltoppers and the Elmwood Plum City Wolves are tied for seventh at 0-4 and 4.5 games off the pace. Tonight, the Vikings are the only team in the Dunn St. Croix Conference to be playing as they step out of conference play to take on the McDonell Central Macks from Chippewa Falls. Tonight, the Vikings are continuing their difficult non-conference competition against powerhouse teams as they face the Western Clover Belt Conference runner-up McDonell Central Macks. The Vikings will need to step up their shooting and continue their tough defensive play for a full 36 minutes in order to gain a victory. The Macks are looking to stay sharp and prepare to make a run to secure the title in the West Clover Belt. Now, in just a moment, we'll send it out to McDonell Central High School in Chippewa Falls, where our broadcast crew will bring you all the action of tonight's girls' game between the Colfax Vikings and the McDonell Central Macks. That's all coming up next. You've been tuned to Viking Pregame on NLWN-TV.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
You've been tuned to Viking Pregame with a look at today's Colfax Vikings girls game. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. Stay tuned. Coming up next is live Colfax Viking basketball.
It happens to everyone eventually. Your computer goes on the fritz. Fear not, Sladen's Technology Services can help. When your computer decides to not cooperate, it can be very frustrating. Let Sladen's Technology Services keep you from wanting to drive your computer right off a cliff. Sladen's Technology Services supports business of all sizes. They offer assistance with managed anti-malware, encrypted email, fast tech support, data backup, and recovery, and more. Call Sladen's Technology Services at 715-864-2833 and get the IT help you desire. Sladen's Technology Services is the official IT service for the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Colfax Viking Girls Basketball is on the air.
Back over to Sierra Shipman. She spins at the top of the key, takes it into the lane, lays it up and puts it in. Sierra Shipman with her first 2 points of the night.
The Northern Light Webcasting Network, along with NLWN-TV, is excited to bring you Colfax High School Girls Basketball.
Then over to the left side to Jordan, lays it up and puts it in.
Join us as we follow the Vikings as they battle their way through the Dun St. Croix Conference.
To Goodell from three, she'd hit the three!
And now, out to the gym for today's Colfax Viking basketball.
And good evening, and welcome to McDonell Catholic Central High School in Chippewa Falls. As we have Dave Shipman keeping numbers for us, Chris Olson on the camera, I'm Rick Olson, and we're getting ready to bring you all the play-by-play action of tonight's Colfax Vikings taking on the McDonell Central Macks. The Vikings come into tonight's game with a 6-3 overall record, and this is a non-conference game, but the Vikings are 3-1 in the Dun St. Croix Conference, while the Macks are 6-6 overall, and they are 4-1 in the Western Clover Belt Conference. Taking a look at the starting lineups for tonight's game for the visiting Vikings, starting is 5'6" senior guard number 4 Kason Goodell, then 5'6" junior guard number 12 Jordan Bovey, 5'6" junior guard number 30 Sierra Shipman, 5'7" junior forward number 34 Bryn Sikora, and 5'11" junior forward number 44 Clara Hajdukovic. For the Macks, they're starting with sophomore guard number 0 Aaron Siegenthaler, and 5'10" senior power forward number 1 Kendall Hepfler. 6-foot sophomore, she's a forward, and Siegenthaler, wearing number 5. 5'5" junior point guard Chloe Flanagan, wearing number 20, and wearing 24 is 5'7" sophomore shooting guard Claire Ruff. Those are the starters for tonight's game, and we'll be back with national anthem and player introductions right after this timeout, as you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit DairyStateBank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, Banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
When you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it, rest assured, you can still get that meal by going to Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax. Mom's is open daily, serving breakfast and lunch, and don't forget dinner on Friday nights with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee is always hot, the breakfast is always delicious, and lunch will put a smile on your face and in your stomach. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub.
To get your lawn or garden to perform at attracting what you want, you first need to know what your soil is working with. That's where Midwest Environmental Consultants can help. Their soil testing service can give you a complete rundown on your soil's nutrition and health. They test for nitrogen levels, phosphorus, potash, micronutrients, minerals, pH, and organic matter. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants put you in control of your soil's health. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. That's Midwest Environmental Consultants, serving Western Wisconsin.
And we're back here at McDonell Central High School as the teams have headed over to their respective benches, and we are getting ready for national anthem and player introductions. McDonell Central is the small school in Chippewa. It's right across the street from Chi High, and there's a huge size difference in the two buildings and also a huge size difference in the enrollment. But McDonell Central has played awfully tough basketball the last few years, and they were sitting on top of the Western Clover Belt Conference until they lost to Fall Creek on, I believe it was Friday, and so now they've slipped a little. And so now we're going to have the playing of our national anthem. We'll turn it over to the scores table.
Contest, we welcome the Colfax Vikings and your McDonell Lady Macks. McDonell Central Catholic Schools, the school district of Colfax, and the WIAA require good sportsmanship at education-based sporting events. Attendance is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all, your cooperation is expected and greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please join me in short prayer? In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we ask for your protection over each and every player, coach, official, and spectator. May this game be an opportunity for these athletes to glorify you in all that they do. We ask that all involved in today's game be kept free from injury, and that you will be with us all as we leave here tonight. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. In honor of those who have served and those currently serving for our freedoms, please direct your attention to our nation's flag for the playing of our national anthem. joining their ships and making the 19-mile journey to the gym tonight. Let us meet the Vikings of Colfax. At guard, a 5'6" senior, number 4, Kason Goodell. A 5'6" junior guard, number 12, Jordan Bowden. At guard, a 5'6" junior wearing number 30, Sierra Shipman. A 5'7" junior forward, she wears number 34, Prince Sikora. Standing 5'11", junior forward, number 44, Clara Hajdukovic. The Vikings are led by head coach Courtney Sarah, managed by Presley and Piper Kittleson. After being away for 2 weeks and looking to protect their house night, let us welcome back your Lady Macks. And for 6 foot sophomore wearing 0, Aaron Seaton. A 5'10" senior forward, she wears number 1, Kendall Hepburn. At the other forward position, a 6 foot sophomore, number 5, Ann Siegenthaler. A 5'5" junior guard wearing number 20, Chloe Flanagan. And a guard, 5'7" sophomore, number 24, Claire The Lady Macks are led by head coach Sally Williams, assisted by Ben Dodge, Emma Stelter, and Ian Christine. Tonight's official guard, Mr. Pat Clifton, Mr. Lee Fu, and Sir Todd Lenz. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for...
And so there you have the starting lineups from here at McDonell Central. Clara Hajdukovic jumping center against Ann Siegenthaler. And the ball goes up, and the tip is controlled by the Vikings. Goodell picked it up off a knee and then got it to Bovey, back to Goodell, who brings it up across the timeline for the Vikings. Vikings moving from right to left. Goodell had it on the right side, out to Bovey at the top of the key, and the ball got knocked out of bounds. They're saying that it went off a Shipman. So the Macks to inbound. And it's Flanagan bringing it up the floor. Takes it over to the right side. Out high, that's Chloe Ruff. She's the leading scorer for the Macks. Back to Flanagan, taking it over to the left to Erin Siegenthaler. She's at the right elbow, drives into the lane. Ball got knocked loose, and it will be Viking ball. Full court pressure being put on by the Macks. Sikora to inbound to Bovey. Double teamed in the backcourt to Sikora, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. And that foul is going to be on Ann Siegenthaler. That's the first foul on anybody today. So Goodell has it in the backcourt for the Vikings. Again, full court pressure, but Goodell dribbles it into the forecourt. The pass gets tipped and picked up by the Macks. Flanagan gets it into the forecourt to Erin Siegenthaler. Over to the right side to Ruff, and then down in the corner to Ann Siegenthaler. Back out high to Flanagan, and then back down to Siegenthaler. That's Ann. And then over into the corner, that's Flanagan. Shot goes up, no good. Rebound hauled out of there by Hajdukovic for the Vikings. Goodell with it. Feeding it down underneath to Bovey, who puts it up and puts it in the hole. Vikings draw first blood. 2-0. Macks feed it over to the right side, back out between the circles, and then over to the left side. This is Erin Siegenthaler with it. She feeds it off to Ruff. Back out high to Flanagan. Down underneath. The shot goes up and in by Kendall Hepfler. So we're tied at 2. Goodell brings it up and passes it in the forecourt. And the cross-court pass gets knocked away by the Macks. And down the floor they come. This is Ann Siegenthaler getting it out high to Ruff. And then over into the corner, that was Hepfler putting up the shot, no good. Shipman with it, gets it over to Goodell. Goodell taking it down the left side, lays it up a little hard, but Hajdukovic with the rebound, and she got foul going back up. And the foul is on Erin Siegenthaler. That's her first, second team foul on the Macks. Bovey to inbound for the Vikings. Feeds it to Hajdukovic. She tries to put it up. Couldn't get much on it, but the Vikings get it back, and Sikora puts it up from 3. 5-2, Vikings on top. Flanagan with it. They get it over to the left side, back out high to Hepfler, and then over to the left side. Now it's back out to Ruff. She puts up the shot, and it's good from about 10 feet out. Claire Ruff with her first 2 points of the night. Vikings bringing it down the floor, and a pass just out of the reach of Shipman. Hurlburt into the lineup for the Vikings for Hajdukovic. And down the floor come the Macks. They get it over to the left side to Ruff. Back out to the top of the key to Erin Siegenthaler. Three-pointer is good. 7-5, Macks on top. Goodell with the ball. Gets it to Sikora. Sikora across the timeline. At the free throw line. Double team there. Now gets it over into the corner to Shipman. Back out to Sikora. Sikora wide right. Out to Goodell, and then at the top of the key to Bovey. Bovey drives into the lane, and she drew the foul on the floor before she put the shot up. And that foul is going to be on Erin Siegenthaler. That's her second, third team foul on the Macks. Goodell to inbound. She gets it out to Hurlburt, then back to Goodell on the right side, drives the right baseline, reverse layup, it's no good. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Goodell. That's the first foul on the Vikings. So into the lineup, we have Emily Hartman and Riley Christensen for the Macks. Ball goes over to Ruff on the left side. Back out high to Flanagan. Over to the right side now. And that's Hartman. Back out to Ruff. Hartman from 3. It's off the back of the air. No good. Rebound. Battled for. Coming away with it is Goodell. Ball got knocked out of bounds. They're going to say she carried the ball. And so it's going over to the Macks. Inbounding the ball is Emily Hartman. She gets it into Flanagan. Flanagan at the top of the key. Sends it over to Ann Siegenthaler. Pass underneath, goes out of bounds. It'll be Viking ball. Macks believing in full court pressure. Ball comes into Goodell. To Sikora. Sikora down over to the left side. And 3 for Hurlburt. Vikings back on top, 8-7. Here come the Macks right back down the floor. This is Christensen. They get it over to the left side, now to Ruff. Back to Christensen at the top of the key. To Hartman. Hartman drives down the right baseline, turns in the lane, puts it up. It's no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds off the Macks, and it will be Viking ball. Bryn Sikora to inbound it, and we have a substitution. Kendall Hepfler back into the lineup. And she's replacing Ann Siegenthaler. And the Macks dropping out of their full court pressure. Just some token pressure right now by Christensen as Goodell brings it up. She tries to feed it in the forecourt. It was tipped and intercepted by the Macks, but Chloe Flanagan stepped out of bounds, and so the Vikings will have the ball. They were putting token pressure on, but all of a sudden they were picking everybody up at the timeline. Goodell with it, down to the right side to Shipman, over to Hurlburt, back out high to Goodell. Goodell with a three-pointer on the way. She hit the three! Kaysen Goodell with a three puts the Vikings up 11-7. That sounds like a convenience store backwards. Top of the key now, Christensen with it. Takes it over to the right side and gets it over to Ruff. Ruff from the free throw line. It's no good. Rebound chased down by Bovey. Bovey to Goodell. Goodell at the free throw line. Gets it out to Shipman. Shots off the mark, but rebounded by Hurlburt. Ball gets tapped loose. Sikora gets it back. Passes a little bit high and picked up by Christensen down the floor. She gets it to Ruff. Ruff lays it up. It doesn't go. Rebound still doesn't go, and coming out of there is Shipman with it. Long feed down to Hurlburt. She lays it up and she puts it in. 13-7, Vikings on top. Max with the ball. Ruff has it on the right side. Free throw line extended. Gets it back to Christensen from the free throw line. Puts it up, no good. Rebound by the Max. Christensen tried to go up and got fouled. I believe it's on Hurlburt. And it is. And so at the line shooting two is Riley Christensen, the sophomore guard. First shot is up, and that one's off the back of the iron, no good. And Lyric Nichols into the lineup along with Clara Hajdukovic. And the second shot now for Christensen. It's on the way. And it's also off the back of the iron, but rebound taken down by Hartman. Hartman gets it over to Anna Siegenthaler. Back to Hartman. Hartman spins in the lane, puts it up, and puts it in. 13-9, Vikings by 4. Goodell with it. Trapped at the timeline, but got it over to Nichols. Nichols, and they're going to call Nichols for a double dribble. Some of the Viking coaches were wondering why that was a double dribble when the ball got knocked out of her hands. But evidently they said it was a double dribble, so Max bring the ball down. Aaron Siegenthaler. They send it over to the left side. Now back out high to Ann Siegenthaler. Now from the left side, shot is up and good. Three-pointer by Tessa Rozowski. Vikings up by 1, and the ball gets knocked loose. Max come away with it, and down the floor, laying it up and putting it in is Ann Siegenthaler, and we're going to get a timeout on the floor. 14-13, Max on top, 10:58 to go, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV. Anderson Bridges, located in Colfax, Wisconsin, has been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. With hundreds of bridges supplied nationwide, we suspect you've crossed our path. It may have been on a pedestrian or bicycle bridge, or how about a snowmobile, ATV, or golf course bridge? Anderson Bridges is likely to have manufactured it. Founded in 1989, Anderson Bridges has been a family-owned company since its beginning and are proud to support the Colfax Vikings. With about 8.5 minutes left in the first half, the boys are taking on the Eau Claire Regis Ramblers and are trailing by a score of 32-17. That game, by the way, is on our sister channel, NLWN-2. Ball gets taken away by the Max, laying it up and putting it in is Aaron Siegenthaler. Vikings have the ball. Goodell with it. She spins. Gets it across the timeline. Ball got knocked loose. She picks it up, and they lay it down underneath. Putting it up and in is Bryn Sikora. 16-15, Max on top. Ball comes over to the near side. And now over to the left side. And with it is Ann Siegenthaler. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Bryn Sikora. That's her first, third team foul on the Vikings. Teams are even with 3. By the way, in the NFL playoffs right now, it's the LA Rams leading the Minnesota Vikings 7-0. First shot is up, and that one rolls off no good. Ann Siegenthaler at the line. Claire Ruff back into the lineup for the Macks. Second shot on the way. That one's good. 17-15, 2-point difference. Macks on top. Vikings with it. Bovey on the left side. And the ball got tipped out of bounds, but they're going to award it to the Macks. And we have Shipman coming in for Bovey. And down the floor comes Flanagan. Feeds it over to the right side to Ruff. Ruff spins, gets to the free throw line. Back out to Ann Siegenthaler. She drives into the lane, kicks it back out, and now Flanagan has it. Feeds it down underneath. Shot goes up, and no good. That shot was by Hepfler, and the rebound taken down by the Macks. Ruff has it at the top of the key. Feeding it over to Rosowski, and the cross-court pass underneath, laying it up and in is Hepfler. 19-15. Macks on top. Shipman with it. Stops, got knocked loose from her hands. Then she lost control at the top of the key, and the Macks have it. Feeding it down underneath. Ball got tipped away. Hajdukovic with it. Gets it to Sikora, to Goodell. Goodell high, wide, and left, and double teamed out there, and the ball got knocked out of bounds, and they're going to award it to the Macks again. Chloe Flanagan with the ball across the timeline. 19-15, the Macks on top. They feed it over to the left side to Ruff. Ruff down into the corner to Hepfler. Back out high to Flanagan. Flanagan over to Rosowski and then to Ann Siegenthaler. Siegenthaler takes it to the lane, feeds it back out, three-pointer on the way, rims around and out. And the Vikings have it. Goodell quickly across the timeline. Tries to feed it down underneath to Hajdukovic, but it's intercepted. This is Flanagan with it between the circles. Gets it over to Ruff. Ruff at the top of the key. Then over to Rosowski. To Flanagan. Flanagan feeds it down into the lane to Hepfler. Puts it up no good. Rebound taken out by Sikora. She gets it off to Goodell. Goodell feeds it over to Shipman. Lays it up and it goes in. Sierra Shipman with 2. 19-17. Vikings close the gap to 2. Shot goes up, and it's good by Ann Siegenthaler. Pass down into the corner, intended for Hajdukovic, intercepted by the Macks. And Siegenthaler lays it up and puts it in, and we're going to get a timeout called by the Vikings. Timeout on the floor. Macks on top, 23-17, 7:29 to go, as you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
C&K Construction is your source for high-quality concrete and construction work in the Chippewa Valley. Established in 2014, C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls is a leading concrete contractor proud to serve Eau Claire, Altoona, Menominee, and surrounding areas. Specializing in concrete construction, excavating, flatwork poured walls, and much more, they're right for all of your concrete needs. Call C&K Construction in Chippewa Falls at 715-559-1335.
NLWN-TV is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School Girls Basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season. Our next girls Vikings game will be on Tuesday, January 14th, when the Vikings take on the Mondovi Buffaloes from Colfax High School. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on Tuesday, January 14th on NLWN-TV.
Back here at McDonell Central High School. Vikings going to inbound the ball as they're trailing by 6, 23-17. Sikora gets it into Goodell. To Shipman. Back to Goodell. Back to Shipman. Shipman picked up her dribble, and now she feeds it to Hajdukovic down into the right corner to Sikora. Shot's no good. Rebound, and it's out of bounds. It's going to go to the Macks. That one, I think, went off of Shipman last. So the Macks bring it down the floor. Flanagan with it, gets it over to the left side. That's Hartman. Back out to Ruff, and then to Flanagan. Flanagan out high to Christensen. Christensen at the top of the key. Stops at the free throw line. Feeds it over to Ruff in the right corner. She dribbles it back out high to the top of the key. Guarded by Goodell. To Christensen to Flanagan. Flanagan over to Christensen. She takes it to the free throw line. Puts it up from there. Shot's no good. Rebound taken down by Goodell. She got it to Shipman. Back to Goodell. To Shipman. She tries to feed it down to the corner. Got tipped. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul. I believe the foul is going to be on Claire Ruff. That's a fourth team foul. First foul on Ruff. Bovey back into the lineup, as is Hurlbert for the Vikings. Goodell gets it over to Bovey, high, wide, and right. Back to Goodell. Goodell between the circles. She's kind of tied up there. Feeds it to Sikora, and then out to Bovey. Puts up the three. No, it won't go. And away come the Macks. This is Ruff with it. She takes it down the right side of the lane. Kicks it out to Christensen. Over to Flanagan between the circles. Back down into the right corner. That's Buescher. And then back into the lane, back out to Buescher. Over to Christensen, and then they get it out high to Hartman. To Flanagan, to Buescher. To Flanagan, then into the lane to Ruff. Tries to drive in. She's tied up down underneath. Kicks it back out. And stepping on the baseline that time is Emily Hartman, and the ball's going to go over to the Vikings. Vikings have it. Bovey gets across the timeline, takes it into the lane, puts it up. No, but we're going to get a foul. Foul's going to be on Chloe Flanagan. That's team foul number 5 on the Macks. First foul on Flanagan. First shot is up, and that one's good. By Bovey. Bovey, a 62% free throw shooter on the season. Second shot is up. It's also good. And we have a couple of substitutions coming in for the Macks and one for the Vikings. Shipman back in for the Vikings, replacing Lyric Nichols. Flanagan brings it across the timeline for the Macks. Now they bring it around to the right side. That's Christensen. Then from the top of the key, three-pointer is no good by Hartman. Rebound chased down by the Macks. Driving down is Hartman. She lays it up and puts it in. 25-19, and a 6-point lead. Pass got tipped and then out of bounds. It was tipped by Siegenthaler, so the Vikings maintain possession. Goodell with it. She feeds it across the timeline to Shipman, over to Hurlbert. Pass down underneath, got knocked out of bounds by Hepfler. So it'll be Viking ball on the baseline. Vikings trailing by 6. 4:41 remaining. Bovey with it. Takes it out to the elbow, gets it out to Goodell, puts up the 3 and hit it. 25-22, Vikings cut the lead to 3. Down the floor is Christensen. She got the ball knocked away as down comes Goodell. Tried to feed it over to Hurlburt, and I don't know if Goodell was moving so the ball carried the wrong way a little bit or Hurlburt just stopped. But it went out of bounds, so the Macks have it. Flanagan with it. Feeds it over to the right side. That's Christensen to Ann Siegenthaler. She takes it down the left side of the lane. Got stopped there. Gets it back out. Hartman feeds it over to Flanagan. Flanagan to Ann Siegenthaler. Three-pointer on the way off the iron. No good. Rebound hauled down by Hepfler. Hepfler out to Flanagan. Flanagan at the top of the key. Now down into the left corner to Ann Siegenthaler, and they're going to say it's off the foot of the Vikings. Max will have it on the baseline. And the pass comes in to Hepfler. She drives into the lane. Feeds it out to Ann Siegenthaler, puts it up in and out, no good. Rebound, jump ball being called. Possession arrow in favor of the Macks. Macks to inbound, long pass coming out to Christensen. Off the back of the iron, no good. Bovey with it. Feeds it into the forecourt to Goodell. Goodell over to Bovey. Bovey to the free throw line. Puts it up. No. Rebound taken down by the Macks. And quickly down the floor. Ball gets tapped away by Goodell, but she couldn't gain control, so it went out of bounds. Macks will keep possession. Checking in is Claire Ruff. She's back into the game. Gets it into Flanagan. Flanagan gets it out to Rosowski. And then to Siegenthaler. Over to Rosowski to Flanagan. Then to Ruff. Ruff takes it out to the top of the key. Feeding it down to Hepfler and then out to Rosowski. Shot's no good. Rebound. We're going to get a jump ball called. And wait, we got a foul. Overruled by the official over on the side. He called a foul, and it was on Ann Siegenthaler. It's her sixth foul, so that'll put the Vikings to the line from here on out, in the first half anyway. Goodell with it on the right side. Gets it to Hurlburt. Ball gets knocked away. She tries to push it out to Goodell, but it gets intercepted. Down the floor and laying it up. It doesn't go in for Siegenthaler, and the Vikings come away with it. Goodell with the ball. To Shipman. Back to Goodell. Ball gets taken away by the Macks, and Goodell steals it right back again. Feeds it down underneath to Bovey. Tries to go up. Ball gets knocked loose. Back underneath to Shipman. Puts it up, and then it goes. Sierra Shipman with the basket. 4 points for Shipman. And Ruff answers right back from the baseline. By the way, at the halftime in the boys' game over in Colfax against Regis, it's Regis 59, Vikings 27. We have a whistle and a foul. As it fouls on Flanagan, and it should put the Vikings to the line for the 1-on-1. Jordan Bovey to shoot the free throws. First one's up, it's good. 1:43 remaining in the first half. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Jordan Bovey will be our Viking profile player. Second shot is up, it's also good. She's 4 for 4 from the line. And down the floor comes Erin Siegenthaler. Feeds it off to the right side to Heffler, and then over to Christensen on the left. To Erin Siegenthaler. Then down into the corner to Heffler. Back out high to Christensen. Tries to feed it into the lane. Ball gets knocked loose. Vikings come away. Jump ball called. Sikora got her hands on it, but she was then also tied up by Erin Siegenthaler. But the Vikings have the possession arrow, so down the floor they come. Minute 18 remaining. Down into the corner is Bovey. Takes it to the lane. Tries to feed it underneath to Hajdukovic, and she lost the handle, and it went out of bounds. It'll be Max ball. And we do have a timeout on the floor with the score. Max 27, Vikings 26. You're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
NLWN-2 is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School boys basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season.
This is what we came in for.
Our next game will be on Thursday, January 16th, when the Vikings play host to the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking boys basketball on Thursday, January 16th on NLWN-2.
So we're back here at McDonell Central. Macks have the ball, leading by 1 with 1:07 to go. They get the ball into Rosowski, and it gets taken away by the Vikings. Goodell fed it over to Shipman on the right side. She puts up the three. She hit the three! Vikings back on top, 29-27. That's 8 unanswered for the Vikings. Siegenthaler feeds it over to Rosowski, then into the lane by Ruff. We have a whistle, and we have a foul before the shot. Fouls on Sierra Shipman. It's her first, 4th team foul on the Vikings. Turns out to be a pretty smart foul. Kept a basket from being scored. Shot going up from 3 off the back of the air, no good. Rebound taken down by Ruff. And she turns around, puts up, and got fouled, I think, by Sikora. And Sikora's second. 5th foul on the Vikings. And Ruff is going to go to the line for 2. First shot is up. That one's good. 29 and some change remaining. 29-28. Vikings on top, and call it tied now at 29. 29 seconds, 29 each. If you're looking for a lottery number, that might be a good one. Shipman with it. Feeds it over to Goodell. Back to Shipman. To Goodell. Back to Shipman. Ball gets tipped away, and Christensen gets it down to Erin Siegenthaler, putting up a long shot off the back of the air, no good, and that brings us to halftime. So the score at halftime, well, we're all tied at 29 each, and we have Viking halftime coming up right after this timeout, as you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
Time now for Viking Halftime, with today's Viking profile and other halftime entertainment. That's coming up right after this.
Time now for Viking Profile, where we take a closer look at one of the Colfax Viking players. And now, Viking Profile.
Today on Viking Profile, we're talking with Jordan Bovey. And Jordan, we know that you play basketball, but are you involved in any other activities here at school?
Yeah, I'm involved in volleyball.
Okay, and how'd that season go for you guys?
It was okay. It wasn't the best, but...
Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
That's the important part. Okay, and you are a junior here at Colfax, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when did you start playing basketball, and what kind of an experience has that been for you?
I started in just really young, probably kindergarten, and it's been a good experience all the way through.
Okay. What's the most important thing that you've learned from playing basketball?
Just don't give up, have a short memory, and it's a mental game, so just always have your head up.
Okay. And when you're not playing basketball, you're not here at school, what are some other things that keep you interested or occupied?
I like to water ski and snow ski, but just hanging out with family and friends.
Okay, strap some boards on the bottom of your feet, and doesn't matter what time of year it is, right?
Yep.
Okay. Here's the trademark question.
Okay.
Pie, ice cream, cake, or cookies?
Cookies.
Which kind?
Chocolate chip.
That's the standby, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you like them with the nuts or without?
Without.
Okay.
Just chocolate chip.
Just chocolate chips, okay. Can you substitute M&Ms sometimes?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, all right. Hot dog, burger, or brats?
Hot dog.
And what do you want on that dog?
Ketchup. That's all.
All right, just ketchup. All right, that works. Your favorite color and why?
I don't really have a favorite color.
So whatever hits you?
Yep, whatever.
Okay. If you could have a superpower, what would that be and why?
I would like to fly. I don't know why. Just like a bird.
You'd like to fly and you don't know why. You're a poet. Okay. But if you had the power to fly, of course you have to have a superhero name to go with that. So what's Jordan's superhero name?
Jumping Jordan.
That sounds familiar. Did we do that last year?
Yeah, we did do that last year.
Favorite NBA or WNBA team?
Probably the Bucks, NBA.
Okay. And how about favorite collegiate team?
It depends. Probably the Yukon girls.
Okay. All right. Who would be a sports personality from any time in sports that you'd like to sit down and have a meal with and pick the brain of a little bit?
A sports personality?
Yeah, it could be a player or it could be anything.
Probably Paige Beckers.
Okay, tell me why.
I don't know. She's just my favorite player, probably.
Okay, that's a pretty good reason. We're talking with Jordan Bovey today on Viking Profile, and what are your plans for after high school?
I want to get into business, maybe real estate.
Okay, very good. How about a shout out to the family?
Yeah, my parents, my sisters, and my grandparents.
All right. And when people come to Viking games, where should they look for you on the floor?
Maybe a ball handler or somewhere around there.
All right. We want to thank Jordan Bovey for joining us today on Viking Profile. And coming up next, more Viking Halftime.
You've been listening to Viking Profile. This has been a presentation of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
Losing the fear of looking foolish comes with age.
Who did you steal him from?
Losing your way in your own home doesn't. Confusion with time and place may be a sign of Alzheimer's.
Mom, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's.
Kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. So if you want to talk to your kids, you have to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
You've been tuned to Viking Halftime. Stay tuned. Coming up is second half action of today's Viking game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV.
Elmer loves to giggle. Elmer's mommy told him that laughing can help when you have a big feeling, like when you feel happy. Make sure to celebrate when you're happy and laugh it out. Love your mind.
And welcome back to McDonell Central High School in Chippewa Falls. And we're all knotted up at 29 apiece, and we're getting ready to start the second half. Quickly running through the scores of the first half. First of all, for the Vikings, leading the way is Sierra Shipman with 7 points. We have a couple girls with 6 with Kaysen Goodell and Jordan Bovey, and a couple girls with 5 with Layla Hurlbert and Bryn Sikora. Good balance by the Vikings. For the McDonell Central Macks, leading the way is Ann Siegenthaler. She has 7. She's followed by Erin Siegenthaler with 5. And Claire Ruff has 6. Then we have Kendall Hepfler and Emily Hartman with 4 points each, and 3 points for Tessa Rozowski, and that comes out to 29-29. With 16 plus minutes remaining in the game over in Colfax, it's the Regis Ramblers kind of taking it to the Vikings, 66-30, and that game is available on our sister channel NLWN-2. And also in the second quarter, it's the Los Angeles Rams leading the Minnesota Vikings 10-3. There, I think that gets you caught up on all the sports that matter. And we are just about ready to start the second half. Possession arrow, I believe, is in favor of the Macks. Macks will be going from left to right. Vikings, obviously, then from right to left. Vikings clad in their red uniforms with white trim and white numerals. Macks are in their white uniforms with blue trim and blue numerals. So we're red, white, and blue out there tonight. Vikings on the floor. And out come the Macks. Head coach Sally Williams having a couple last-second words. And Erin Siegenthaler to inbound the ball. She gets it into Hepfler. Hepfler tries to feed it down to Ruff, intercepted by Hajdukovic, but the pass was a little bit long for Shipman and chased down by Siegenthaler. That's Erin. She gets it over to Flanagan, then back out to Ruff at the top of the key, to Flanagan. Over to Ann Siegenthaler. Tries the bounce pass into the lane, putting it up, and it won't go in. Kendall Hepfler, that ball sat up there on the back of the iron, thought about it for a while, but then rolled off. Foul's going to be on Clara Hajdukovic, her first team foul on the Vikings. Free throw is up, no good for Kendall Hepfler. Second shot's on the way, and that one's good. 30-29, Macks on top. Here come the Vikings back down the floor. Goodell with it. Feeds it over to Shipman across the timeline. Gets it back over to Goodell. Into the lane to Sikora. Back out to Goodell. Puts up the three. No, it won't go down. Bovey chases it down in the corner and gets it out to Shipman. And the pass is intercepted by Ruff. She lays it up and puts it in. 32-29, Macks on top. Shipman with it. Her pass got tapped away, and putting the shot up and no good was Ann Siegenthaler, and the Vikings come away with it. Goodell tried to feed it over to Shipman, but nobody was home. We were talking during halftime, and that's one of those situations where she might have been better off just driving around that defensive player. Macks with the ball. Erin Siegenthaler has it on the right side. Over to Ruff on the left to Flanagan. Flanagan feeds it down low to Hepfler, puts it up no good. Rebound, tapped away, and coming out of it is Erin Siegenthaler. Feeds it back out high to Flanagan, puts up the three off the glass, no good. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul. And the Macks fans didn't like that one. That's on Kendall Hepfler. First foul on the Macks this half. It's also the first foul on Hepfler. Shipman with it. Brings it up to the timeline. She's bottled up, and that they got away with an over and back that time. She was clearly over and passed it into the backcourt. Ball got tipped away by Goodell and saved inbounds by Shipman. She brings it up across the timeline. Then to Goodell. Goodell feeds it down underneath to Sikora. She lays it off the glass and puts it in. Bryn Sikora with her seventh points of the night. 32-31. Erin Siegenthaler, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul over right out high. And that's going to be on Goodell. It's her second team foul on the Vikings. Ball comes down to Ruff. She drives into the lane, kicks it back out high to Ann Siegenthaler, to Erin Siegenthaler. Then to Flanagan, back to Ann Siegenthaler. Then to Ruff. Ruff from the top of the key, puts up the three, no. And the rebound taken down by Hajdukovic. Goodell with it. To Shipman. She takes it across the timeline and tries to feed it down low, and it got intercepted, and Ruff is going to lay it up and put it in. Macks are getting some transition points here. Shipman with it, and the ball gets knocked loose and down low to Ruff, but it's led a little bit too far for Ruff and out of bounds. 34-31, 14:49 remaining. Macks on top. Goodell with the ball. Feeds it into the forecourt to Hurlburt. Hurlburt drives, gives it off to Bovey, puts it up and in. Jordan Bovey with 2 more. Flanagan with it. Out high to Aaron Siegenthaler, puts it up no good. Sikora with the rebound. Sikora went high up off the glass for that one. Now she's double teamed out high, and she gets it over to Bovey. Drives down the right side, takes it into the lane, goes up, puts it up, it won't go in. And we're going to get a foul on Hajdukovic reaching over the top. That's her second, third team foul. 34-33. Flanagan gets it over to Aaron Siegenthaler on the right side. To Ann Siegenthaler, out to Ruff, to Flanagan. Feeds it into the lane. And that's Hepfler putting it in. 3-point lead now, 36-33. Goodell with it. Tries to feed it over to Bovey. Gets it across the timeline to Hajdukovic. Then to Bovey, and she couldn't find the handle, and it went out of bounds, but it was touched by Aaron Siegenthaler. So the Vikings will maintain possession. Goodell has it, gets it to Bovey, tries to feed it down to Hajdukovic, but it's tipped out of bounds by Hepfler. So Vikings will have it. Goodell will inbound. Feed it in to Hurlburt. Then to Bovey. Bovey at the top of the key. To Sikora at the elbow. Back out to the top of the key. Feeds it down into the lane to Hajdukovic, and it's out of bounds. But it was a blocked shot out of bounds, so the Vikings will keep possession. Into the lineup for the Macks are Christensen and Hartman. Bovey gets it into Goodell. Goodell out in three-point range on the left side. She backs up, now drives down low, lays it up and puts it in. Kaysen Goodell with 2. Down the floor quickly come the Macks. That's Christensen. They get it back out and swing it around. Back to Christensen. To Ruff. Ruff at the free throw line, puts the shot up, and she hit it. 38-35, Macks on top. She's got 12 on the night. The ball gets knocked loose from Goodell, but she got it back. Takes it to the elbow, feeds it over to Bovey. Thought about the 3, didn't take it. Back to Goodell, back to Bovey. Feeds it down underneath to Hurlburt, lays it up and in. Layla Hurlburt with 2. Down the floor to Christensen. They try to feed it down low. Hurlburt comes away with it. And the Vikings coming back, trailing by 1, 38-37. Down into the corner, Bovey puts up the 3, off the iron, no good. Rebound by Sikora. Sikora turns around, puts it up, put back shot, and we get a foul as Bovey's going to go to the line. Clara Ruff with her second personal, second team foul on the Macks, and Jordan Bovey to the line for 2. First shot's up and good. Shipman coming in, replacing Hurlburt. And Ann Siegenthaler back into the lineup for the Macks. Bovey's second shot on the way. That one's good. 6 for 6 tonight from the line. And down the floor come the Macks. They get it over to Christensen, comes down the right side. It went out of bounds off her leg, and it'll be Viking ball. Sikora to Bovey. to Goodell, back to Bovey. She brings it across the timeline. Over to Shipman, puts up the three. No. Rebound taken down by the Macks. Quickly down the floor. This is Ruff. Feeds it over to Siegenthaler, to the other Siegenthaler, and then the shot goes up. Three-pointer by Hartman's no good, and the Vikings come away. Bovey taking it down, and she got fouled as she was driving into the lane. And I believe the foul is going to be on Erin Siegenthaler, and it is. It's her third. Third team foul on the Macks this half. Jordan Bovey to put it up. Or put it in, I should say. Out to Sikora, puts up the three. She hit the three! Bryn Sikora with three. And right down the floor comes Erin Siegenthaler. Feeds it over to the right side to Christensen. Back out to Siegenthaler, over to Ruff, back to Christensen at the top of the key. Feeds it over to Hartman. Hartman out to Siegenthaler, to Ruff. Ruff at the free throw line, and we're going to get a blocking foul called on Shipman. Oh, check that. It's on Bovey. That's her first personal. Fourth team foul on the Vikings. Three-pointer is up, no good by Ruff. And down the floor come the Vikings. Sikora with it, gets it out to Goodell. Goodell to the top of the key, down underneath, laying it up and letting it go in was Shipman. It didn't look like it wanted to go, but it did. Siegenthaler with it. That's Aaron. Getting it over to Christensen. Christensen at the free throw line. Feeding it over towards Ann Siegenthaler, but out of her reach, and it goes out of bounds. But it was tipped by the Vikings. That's why it was an errant pass. So Christensen to inbound it. Gets it out high to Erin Siegenthaler. Pulls up from the free throw line. She hit it. 44-40, Vikings on top. And the ball gets intercepted by Ann Siegenthaler, and she missed a layup, and the Vikings come back with it. Bovey with it. Bovey over to Goodell. Over to the near side to Sikora. She was trying to hit Shipman, but Shipman was cutting to the outside, and Sikora tried to hit her down at the baseline. In other words, they weren't thinking the same. 88-50 with just under 7 minutes to go in the boys' game. Eau Claire Regis on top of the Vikings. Flanagan, and then getting it over to Hartman. Hartman from the free throw line. It's off the air, no good. Goodell with the rebound. She brings it down the floor across the timeline between the circles, taking it right down toward the lane. Back out to Shipman. She hit the three! Sierra Shipman with the three, 47-40, Vikings on top. And we're going to get a timeout called by the Macks. 9:16 remaining. It's the Vikings 47, Macks 40, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax has just what you need when you have that craving for a home-cooked meal the way Mom used to make it. Mom's is open from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily and until 9 on Fridays with a complete breakfast menu. Lunch includes sandwiches, salads, wraps, and burgers, along with Mom's comfort food favorites, and don't forget dinner on Fridays with Mom's famous fish fry. The coffee always hot, the breakfast always delicious, and lunch puts a smile on your face. 225 Bremer Avenue, Colfax. Call 715-962-4617. That's Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax.
Menominee Eye and Optical can help you see the world for the beautiful place it is. Doctors Nicholas and Marianne Comro provide comprehensive and emergency eye care for all, including pediatric and special needs patients. Whether it's examination for glasses to cataract or LASIK care, or diagnosis and management of macular degeneration, and so much more. In addition, Menominee Eye and Optical's experienced opticians will help guide you to the highest quality eyewear for the best value. That's Menominee Eye and Optical, 520 Wilson Avenue in Menominee, where they specialize in quality personalized care for you and your family.
Back here at McDonell Central, no, it wasn't an earthquake, just a herd of girls running by the camera. that made it all jiggly there. And the Macks will inbound the ball. This is Flanagan with it at the top of the key. Feeds it over to the near side to Hepfler. She takes it into the lane, back out to Christensen, to Flanagan between the circles. Flanagan over to Hartman. Hartman taking it down the left side. Turns around in the lane, puts it up. It's not there. And the Vikings pick up the loose ball. Goodell with it. Across the timeline, feeding it down to Sikora. She feeds it underneath to Hajdukovic. Ball got knocked loose as she tried to go up with it, and then we get a jump ball underneath. And it will be Viking ball. Tessa Rosowski checking back in for the Macks. Goodell has it. Then out between the circles to Bovey. Over to Hajdukovic. Tries to feed it to Bovey, but overfed it a little bit, and down the floor come the Macks, and laying it up is Ruff, and she put it in. That's 14 points for Ruff. Goodell with it from in the lane. It's no good. Hajdukovic with the putback, and it goes in. First points for Claire Hajdukovic. And the Vikings on top, 49-42. Macks with the ball. This is Ruff with it, high, wide, and left. Takes it to the free throw line. Gets it out to Rosowski. Then to Flanagan, top of the key. Over to the near side to Ruff. Then to Rosowski. Rosowski from near the elbow. She put it up and in. 49-44. Vikings on top. Shipman with it. Gets it over to Hajdukovic. Feeds it back to Shipman. Puts up a three. She hit the three! Sierra Shipman with a three. 52-44. Vikings on top. I believe that's their biggest lead of the night. Rosowski has it down in the corner. Now she feeds it out high to Siegenthaler. This is Ann Siegenthaler. Down to Hepfler. And then out high to Ruff at the top of the key. Feeds it over to Flanagan. Ball got knocked loose. She chases it down. She's got it between the circles. Being guarded by Goodell. To Ruff. Ruff feeds it over to Rosowski. Then over to Flanagan. Then into the lane. And Hepfler puts it up and in. That's 8 points for Hepfler tonight. Vikings have the ball. Shipman got bumped into and got knocked back over the timeline, and they're going to call an over and back against the Vikings. They're sure allowing contact tonight. I didn't see this much contact in the Packer game yesterday. Rosowski gets it over to Ruff. Ruff puts the shot up. It's no good. And we're going to get a blocking foul being called on Hepfler. That's her second foul, fourth team foul on the Macks. Goodell with the ball. Feeds it over to Bovey. Bovey takes it across the timeline. She's double teamed and she bounces it off one of the Macks. Oh, we got a timeout called. I think she bounced it off the Mac anyway, but timeout called by the Vikings. With 6:08 to go, Vikings on top by 6, 52-46, and you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
January is Financial Wellness Month. Weight loss and physical fitness are common New Year's resolutions, but your finances could probably stand to be leaner as well. Dairy State Bank will post tips all month on Facebook and Twitter to help you get your finances in shape. You can also access a library of information anytime in our online education center. Visit dairystatebank.com and click on the Education Center under the Resources tab. Dairy State Bank, banking on relationships. Member FDIC.
Final score from over in Colfax. It was the Regis Ramblers 96, Vikings 52. So the Viking boys come up a little bit short. And a little bit of spilled water on the floor in front of the Viking bench. So they're quickly down there sopping it up. Coach Serrar along with Alexa Wiedner. Goodell, double team near the timeline, feeding down low to Sikora. She puts it up and got fouled going up. Ruff committed the foul, I think. No, my mistake. Heffler committed the foul. But at any rate, at the line for the Vikings is Lyric Nichols. And the shot is on the way, in and out, no good. That, by the way, is the third foul on Heffler and the 15th foul on the Macks. Second shot is up. That one's off the front of the iron, no good. Rebound being battled for, and down the floor come the Macks. Aaron Siegenthaler with it. Feeding it over to the far side to Rosowski. Then to Ruff. Then to Siegenthaler. Stops from the elbow, puts it up. It doesn't go. Rebound hauled out of there by Ann Siegenthaler to Aaron Siegenthaler. To Rosowski, to Ruff, and we're going to get an offensive foul being called on Ruff. She threw a little bit of an elbow trying to get around the corner there. Well, no, they're going to say it was a moving screen being called against Ann Siegenthaler. Third foul on her. Sixth foul on the Macks. In the lane, jump shot is up and in by Sikora. 54-46, Vikings lead back up to 8. Aaron Siegenthaler with it, feeding it over to the near side to Ruff. Ruff takes it to the free throw line, feeds it down underneath the or to Heffler, and the Vikings come away with a loose ball. Goodell with it, takes it across the timeline, gets it to Bovey, drives into the lane. Her shot got blocked. But right into the hands of Nichols. Back to Bovey. She put it up and in. Vikings up by 10, 56-46. 12 points for Bovey. And the shot goes up by Aaron Siegenthaler. It's good. Sikora with the rebound. Vikings getting a little tougher on the boards now. Goodell with it. Feeds it over to Shipman. Thought about the three. Doesn't take it. Gets it to Sikora. Back to Shipman. On the far side. Takes it to the lane. Feeds it underneath to Nichols as she went up and she got hammered. That was a foul on Ruff. And that's her third, seventh foul on the Macks. Lyric Nichols. First shot's on the way. That one's no good. It hit the front, hit the back, and then hit the floor without going through. Checking in for the Macks is Flanagan. And Nichols ready for her second shot. It's on the way. That one's good. First point for Lyric Nichols tonight. And we're going to get a shot. Basket's good. And that basket was by Heffler. And the foul is going to be on Nichols, her first. 15th foul on the Vikings. Hajdukovic checking back in for the Vikings. Heffler gets the +1. 57-49. Goodell with it. Feeds it to Bovey. Bovey gets the pass into the forecourt, but it's intercepted by the Macks. Down the floor comes Siegenthaler. That was Ann Siegenthaler laying it up and in. Cuts the Viking lead to 6. 57-51. Bovey with it to Goodell. Goodell double teamed in the backcourt, and we're going to get a 10-second violation against the Vikings. So the Macks to inbound. 3:48 remaining. Ball goes to Ruff on the near corner. Takes it out high, feeds it over to Flanagan. Then to the far side to Ann Siegenthaler. Back out high to Flanagan. Over to Ruff. Ruff at the top of the key. Gets it over to Ann Siegenthaler. Back to Flanagan. Siegenthaler from three. In and out, no good. Rebound chased down by Goodell. She's double teamed way down along the baseline, and the Vikings bring it down the floor. Shipman with it, and she feeds it over to Goodell. Ball gets knocked loose, but picked up by Sikora. Sikora drives the baseline, double teamed down along the baseline, trying to get the ball out. She does, gets it out to Shipman. Shipman, long pass over to Bovey, then out to Goodell. Over to Sikora, putting up the three. It's no good. Hajdukovic with the rebound. She puts it up. It won't go. And the Macks come away with it. 2:49 remaining. Down the floor come the Macks, and the shot goes up no good by Flanagan. It went off the head of Goodell, and the Macks get it, and it didn't go out of bounds. Siegenthaler chased it down. That was Aaron Siegenthaler. Ruff has it now on the near side. Feeds it back out high to Hepfler. To Flanagan at the free throw line. Getting it down low to Ann Siegenthaler. Puts up a jumper from 10. It's in and out, no good. And Goodell with the rebound. To Bovey. Feeding it down to Hajdukovic. She lays it up and in. Clara Hajdukovic. 4 points for her. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor by the Macks. With 2:02 remaining, Vikings 59 and the Macks 51. And you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
If your estate isn't looking quite estate-like, let Midwest Environmental Consultants landscape your estate right up to snuff with installation of retaining walls, brick patios, foundation planting beds, and so much more. Then they'll keep it that way with their expert lawn care service. Call Midwest Environmental Consultants at 608-468-2067. Let Midwest Environmental Consultants help make your estate the showplace of the neighborhood.
And we're back here at McDonell Central High School with the Vikings on top, 59-51. .202 remaining. And the Macks will have the ball. Vikings up by 8. In a game that had been a back-and-forth battle until this latter part of the second half when the Vikings opened up a little bit of a lead. Aaron Siegenthaler with it, takes it on the far side, high, wide, and right. Feeds it down to Ann Siegenthaler, turns into the lane. And back out to Aaron. Aaron stumbled a little but kept the dribble going. Back to Flanagan, over to Ann Siegenthaler. To Flanagan, puts up the three. It's off the air, no good. Hajdukovic with the rebound. Gets it to Goodell. Feeds it to Bovey. Back to Goodell. Back to Bovey. Down to Hajdukovic. And she tries to pass out, but it gets knocked out of bounds by Ruff. Minute 23 remaining. Goodell with it. She feeds it over to Sikora, to Hajdukovic, to Bovey, to Goodell. Vikings looking to run a little bit of clock now. Shipman with it. And she got fouled by Ruff. That's the fourth foul on Ruff. 8th team foul. So Shipman to the line for the 1-on-1. First shot on the way. It's off the back of the iron, no good. Rebound taken down by Ann Siegenthaler. She dishes it out to Erin Siegenthaler, tries the baseline, gets it over to Hepfler, and she tries to go up but got fouled. And I believe it's on Clara Hajdukovic, third personal, sixth team foul. And Kendall Hepfler at the line for the 2 shots. First one's up and good. Second shot on the way, it's no good. Vikings come away with it. Ahead by 7, under a minute to go. Goodell with it, gets it up across the timeline. Feeds it to Hajdukovic. Kicks it back out to Bovey. And that's a foul on Bovey. And the foul is going to be on Ann Siegenthaler. And that's her 4th. And that was a pretty healthy shove in the back. In fact, Coach Serrar is questioning why that wasn't an intentional foul. First shot is up, it's good. Second shot on the way, no good. Hajdukovic with the rebound. They get it out to Goodell. Goodell double teamed. We're going to get a whistle and a foul. And that's a foul on Siegenthaler, and that'll do it for her tonight. And the Vikings are going the double bonus. And Siegenthaler checks out with 7 points. 9 points. It depends on which part of my bifocals I'm looking through. First shot is up and good by Goodell. (61-52), 37 seconds remaining. Second shot is up. It's off the back of the iron. No good. Rebound taken away by the Macks. Ruff with the ball. Gets it over to Christensen. They get it back out high to Erin Siegenthaler. To Flanagan. Then to Christensen. She put up the 3 and hit it with 18 seconds. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor by the Macks. And we'll take one, too, as you're tuned to Viking basketball on NLWN-TV.
Even though it's winter, baseball is just around the corner. And the Northern Light Webcasting Network is excited to bring you Colfax High School baseball, followed by Eau Claire Cavalier baseball. So stick with us all spring and summer long for America's game on the Northern Light Webcasting Network.
NLWN-TV is once again excited to be your host for Colfax High School Girls Basketball throughout the 2024 through 2025 season. Our next Girls Vikings game will be on Tuesday, January 14th, when the Vikings take on the Mondovi Buffaloes from Colfax High School. Coverage begins with Viking pregame at 6:40 p.m. with live play-by-play to follow. That's live Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on Tuesday, January 14th on NLWN-TV.
16.7 seconds remaining. Vikings up. Long pass down to Shipman. And she turns around and is going to, and we get a foul. And this is going to be a foul on Chloe Flanagan. And Coach Serrar is giving an earful to the officials. And she wanted an intentional foul called. Shipman's first shot is up and good. That's probably the most irate that I've seen Coach Serrar. And that one goes up, and that's no good. Hajdukovic with the rebound. Shipman has it, and she gets fouled. And that is a foul on Erin Siegenthaler, her fourth. Shipman's first shot is no good. 62 to 55, 7.4 seconds remaining. Second shot is up and good. Flanagan with it. Feeds it over to the near side. And there's the buzzer, and that shot is no good. So that's your final score. Vikings 63 and the McDonell Central Macks 55. We will have a wrap-up of tonight's game on Viking Postgame, and that'll be coming up right after this timeout on NLWN-TV.
One scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
When the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
I'm relying on luck, but who knows if it'll be on my side.
When it comes to disasters and emergencies, it's not a matter of if, but when. Take control. 1. Assess your needs. 2. Make a plan. 3. Engage your support network. Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell.
You have been tuned to Colfax Viking Girls Basketball on the Northern Light Webcasting Network and NLWN-TV. This copyrighted production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network and Colfax High School is intended for the enjoyment of the viewing and listening audience. Any broadcast, rebroadcast, or reproduction without the express written consent of the Northern Light Webcasting Network LLC and Colfax High School is prohibited. Stay tuned. Coming up next is Viking Post Game.
In November of 2018, our daughter Jana passed away. The outpouring of support was unbelievable. Support that we received inspired us to start a foundation called the Jana Kelly Memorial Foundation. And through that foundation,
we've given back in a lot of different ways, through projects, through different other charities that we've supported. We like to help Humane Association, and the Ronald McDonald House is something that's very near and dear to us. We've also recently, this last year, we actually built a tiny house. It's really exciting to be able to give back in different ways.
to learn more or to help financially, find us on Facebook or www.janakelly.com.
Time now for Viking Postgame, with a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. And now, Viking Postgame.
And we're back here at McDonell Central High School in Chippewa Falls, where the Vikings have come away winners 63 to 55 over the McDonell Central Macks. That raises the Vikings record to 7-3 on the season. And the Macks go to 6-7 on the season. And have a couple other scores to send your way. It was in the boys' game. The boys suffered a 96 to 52 defeat at the hands of the Regis Ramblers. And as they're closing in on halftime in Arizona, it's the Los Angeles Rams leading the Minnesota Vikings 17-3. As we're waiting for Coach Serrar to come up, let me run through the scores for you here. First of all, for the McDonell Central Macks, they were led in scoring by Claire Ruff, who had 14 points. Kendall Heffler put in 13, and Ann Siegenthaler had 9. Erin Siegenthaler had 7. Tessa Rozowski had 5. Emily Hartman with 4, and Riley Christensen picked up 3. For the Vikings, the leading scorer tonight was Sierra Shipman, who had 17 points. She was being followed by Jordan Bovey, who had 13, and Jordan went 7 for 8 from the free throw line to help get those 13 points. Bryn Sikora picked up 12 points. 9 points by Kaysen Goodell, and 7 points by Layla Hurlbert, and Lyric Nichols picked up a point. And don't forget, Claire Hajdukovic also had 4 points. So that gets us to 63 to 55 in a very physical battle tonight by the Vikings, where they came away winners. We are still waiting for Coach Serrar, and I'll tell you what, we will take a brief time out while we're waiting for him, or for her, I should say. And we'll do that right after this timeout on NLWN-TV.
When people are fed, futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/act now.
Elmo's daddy taught him that when he has a big feeling like being frustrated, humming a song can help you feel better. We all have big feelings, and we are all here for one another. Love your mind.
Even the mighty might not see it coming. It's prediabetes, and it captures 1 in 3 adults. But you can escape. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test to know where you stand and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. Be your own hero on smartphones everywhere at doihaveprediabetes.org.
When I was 10, my mom got deported. We had a difficult time, and I feel that's why I didn't get to finish school. My husband is really supportive in a way that he pushed me to go back to school.
She wants to have a career so her kids can look up to her.
They both keep me motivated to go to school, and they see that if I do it, like they can do it too, you know? I feel that everything's possible.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
And we're back here at McDonell Central High School. Well, we don't have Coach Serrar, but we do have Coach Kittleson up here. Hey, that was a hard-fought victory, and I mean very literally. Hang on a second. Works better if I turn on your microphone.
Okay, yeah, it was definitely a physical game. You know, proud of our girls. They never gave up. First half was obviously not our best basketball. We had a lot of turnovers, but only thing you can do is come out and play better in the second half. Our half-court defense, I mean, was pretty good to have that many turnovers in the first half and be tied at halftime. So, you know.
It seemed as though the girls had a hard time dealing with the pressure, and all of a sudden they get the ball and they'd be wide open to drive, and it was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do when I'm this wide open and want to pass it back where it came from.
Right, you know, and McDonell, they're athletic. They're long and lanky. They're, you know, built all the same size. So definitely we haven't seen that much pressure for a while. So had to get used to it a little bit. And, you know, we figured it out some, but
then later, the last part of the second half, the girls really showed what they were made of and basically just pulled away.
They did. You know, we started seeing better, you know, our girls down in the short corner making that diagonal pass, and, you know, McDonell's, you know, pressure defense, they were getting all sucked above the free throw line. So then you just got to find the opening.
That's a big win for the Viking girls.
That is a big win.
Big confidence builder.
For
to
sure.
know that they can fight their way through a battle like that. And you've got another one coming up tomorrow.
We do.
Is going to be just as big.
It is.
Tell us a little about the Mondovi Buffaloes.
Yeah, you know, we got to keep the Martin girl in check, and Claire's got to be tough down low and just play our game. You know, things aren't always going to go our way, but it's how you handle it. So.
And it's a conference game.
It is a conference game.
It does mean something.
It does.
And so, well, congratulations on that 63-55 win tonight. That's a big one.
It is.
And we'll be right back with you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. And we'll be back to wrap things up right after this timeout on NLWN-TV.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more than
who I am on paper.
Back here at McDonell Central High School, Vikings coming away winners over the McDonell Central Macks 63-55. And want to remind you again, as we were just talking, join us tomorrow right here on NLWN-TV as the Viking girls are going to be taking on the Mondovi Buffaloes in a Dunn St. Croix conference matchup. Coverage begins on NLWN-TV with Viking pregame at 6:40. Followed by the live play-by-play action. Also, join us on Thursday on NLWN2 as we bring you Colfax Viking boys basketball. The Vikings will play host to the Glenwood City Hilltoppers. That's also a Dunn St. Croix conference contest, and coverage in that one will begin also at 6:40, followed by all the live play-by-play. The Bloomer Colfax wrestling team will travel right here to McDonell Central for a meet on Thursday with action starting at 5:30 p.m. And then they will journey to Ladysmith on Saturday with action beginning at 9:30 a.m. And the Colfax Youth Wrestling Tournament will be held on Saturday at Colfax High School with weigh-ins beginning as early as 6 a.m. Friday marks the end of the second quarter and the end of the first semester of the school year at the Colfax schools. So school will be dismissed at 12:30 that day, and there will be no junior kindergarten either morning or afternoon on Friday. Hey, this reminder that tonight's Colfax High School basketball game has been brought to you by Dairy State Bank, where they're banking on relationships. Midwest Environmental Consultants, soil testers for Western Wisconsin. Anderson Bridges, who have been manufacturing prefabricated steel truss bridges since 1989. Slayton's Technology, IT provider for the Northern Light Webcasting Network. Menominee Eye and Optical, with quality personalized care for you and your family. C&K Construction, concrete experts for the Chippewa Valley. And Mom's Restaurant and Pub in Colfax, comfort food the way Mom used to make it. Be sure to thank these fine sponsors for bringing you Colfax Viking basketball on NLWN-TV. So for Dave Shipman keeping the numbers for us tonight and doing an outstanding job with that, Chris Olson giving you all the great shots with the camera, I'm Rick Olson. That final score once again, Vikings 63, McDonell Central Macks 55. You've been tuned to Viking Postgame on NLWN-TV.
You've been listening to Viking Postgame, a wrap-up of today's Colfax Viking Girls game. You can catch Colfax Vikings games by tuning in to any of the Northern Light Webcasting Network outlets. This has been a production of the Northern Light Webcasting Network.